Why is it astronauts always do this symbolism? These are the only 3 monkey emojis. It symbolizes speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. Have you ever seen something horrible and it makes you shiver? Light is information. It enters the brain through the retinas of your eyes. This information affects your whole nervous system. Everything you see, touch, taste, hear and smell positively or negatively affects your nervous system and contributes towards shaping and molding your mind. And your mind shapes your reality. Astronauts do this because they're Freemasons and they know everything that enters them is shaping them in some form. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, people. Forest is for rest. You are electromagnetic. Disease shows in your energy field before it shows up in your physical body. Illness vibrates on a low frequency. If you are low frequency with the food and the thoughts and emotions you feel, your energy will then match the low frequency where illness exists. But if you raise your vibration of your energy, positive thoughts, good emotions, and healthy food, you will not vibrate on the same frequency as illness. You will never become sick. You are an energetic being. Everything exists as a vibration. Trees emit high energy. Forest is for rest because it neutralizes and balances your energy. Plus, looking at all the different color spectrums in nature is very healing for your eyes. Everything is made lifeless for a reason. Lower your frequency and dull your mind. They tell you aliens built the pyramids, but history tells you slaves did. The truth is neither. Alien is A-lie-N. They don't exist, they're a lie. We can't even replicate these structures today. That means the builders knew something that we don't. This physical world is the lowest dimension there is. Everything is a shadow of the higher plane of consciousness. Every object you see first begun in the mental plane, the mind, as an idea. No, the mind is not your brain. It's a spiritual force behind all of creation. These pyramids, these cathedrals, they are physical manifestations of the ancient human mind, proof of a lost intelligence far beyond what we have today. They want you to think we were dumb back then. We were smarter. They hide the truth to keep you weak. The most important thing you can learn is that the universe is mental. The Symbolism Masterclass is now available. They've disconnected you from the heavens. The whole world used to speak one language. This language was called telepathy. We could speak by transferring thoughts through the energetic grid that surrounds us all. Tower of Babel represents this connection to the astral and mental plane. The Bible mentions this tower being cut down. It symbolizes losing our connection to the higher realms. Once the tower was cut down, the whole world spoke a different language. Tower of Babel is a symbolic story representing losing the ability to telepathically communicate. Have you ever thought about someone and they magically appear on your phone? This is because we're all connected on the mental plane. Language is a spell. It molds our mind, limits our imagination, confines our thoughts to structures. Imagine thinking without your mind using a language. To gain telepathic powers, meditate for long periods of time on one intent. Focus the mind's energy and attention on one thing for long periods of time. What is the meaning behind these Freemasonic symbols? First of all, we have the compass. This is the cherry on top. It's the most important one. First, we must understand these. First off, we have the left pillar, Jackin. Sometimes the sun on the top, sometimes the earth on the top. Earth or the sun represents matter, what you can visibly see. The right pillar with B, Boaz, with the stars or the moon on top. This represents what you cannot see. External physical world, internal world of consciousness. The inner and the outer are mirrors of each other. Your current life circumstances are a manifestation of every thought you thought in the past. It also represents polarity, male and female. The brain, intellect, masculine. The heart, emotion, feminine. A compass creates circles, feminine. The square creates lines, masculine. To make the most out of life and make great decisions, the intellect must be in sync with the emotion. Remember that time when your head told you something but your heart was telling you something else? They need to be in sync, which is the square and the compass together. But this represents all duality. We need to balance the inside world with the outside world. Don't get too attached to the external. Don't be overly spiritual. Balance spirit and matter. Balancing the brain with the heart. It represents balance in all areas of your consciousness. People ask, why? What's the point? Because this is how you gain your personal power. You are a creator. You've been creating your whole life consciously or unknowingly. In order to create with efficiency, You must balance every aspect of the self. Satan does not exist. Mark of the beast is 3 6s. 3 represents the 3 aspects of consciousness: thought, emotion, action. Cubes have 6 sides: up, down, left, right, backwards, forwards. 6 represents the physical world. 666 is you, when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all going towards your physical world, cutting off your spirituality, turning you into the beast, turning the pentagram upside down, placing spirit on the very bottom. Satanists do not worship Satan, worship the material world and what it has to offer. They're actually worshipping their physical self. Parents are a pair who rents. Because you don't own your child, you sign them away using a signature. You signed your nature with a sigil. A sigil is a symbol used in witchcraft. Oh my God! You are born into this world, and the word born comes from barren, which means lifeless, dull, and boring. Then you are controlled by the government, the governmentality. They control your mind. Everything physical began as a thought in the thinking mind. The mind is the root cause of reality, so they control your mind, not your body. They do this by broadcasting spells to north, east, west, and south, the news. My God! Wow! Then they teach you the vowels in this specific order, A, E, I, O, U, to teach you that you owe them to become a slave. You are weak in the weekdays because you are working. Where you were a king, you are no longer a king if you are working. Then on the weekend, you are weakened from the weekdays. Days is a daze where you are in a state of confusion. The television is used to tell a vision, to program you on the programs. They want you to think slaughter is laughter, hello is hell is low. Words are swords because they mold your mind. They also create 3-dimensional sound waves which impacts the fabric of matter. I believe that we were never meant to use words. Language has been manipulated so that we no longer use telepathy because we are all connected on the mental plane. We still have telepathic powers which we call intuition. Did you know your city has its own spirit? Keep scrolling if you don't have an open mind. Every physical object has a spiritual light body. You have a physical body and you have a spiritual light body that you use to dream. This is what we call the astral plane. It's the dimension you use when you imagine something. The thoughts, the beliefs, the traumas of one specific city manifests itself as an energy inside the astral plane. The thoughts and the emotions of the collective consciousness in this city manifests as a spiritual entity in the astral plane. If you move to this city, that energy will be impressed onto you. This is why the people who move to Dubai become more wealthy. Because everyone mentally knows Dubai for wealth and money, which means that is an energy being impressed upon that city. Think of a place that you visited. What does it make you feel like? That's the spirit of that place. Personally, I don't think cities are a natural thing and we shouldn't all be compressed into these places because the collective consciousness holds a power over you. Code Spring 30 ends soon. Back in the medieval times, they practiced magic and witchcraft. There's something called the occult virtue of things, meaning everything has its own power. A bear is very strong, an owl stays up very late, a dog has heightened smell. They would rip out the heart of an animal to gain its virtue. If they wanted to stay up all night, they'd carry the heart of an owl. If they wanted more strength, they'd carry the heart of a bear. Now fast forward to today, the meat industry is massive. Are they feeding us all this meat to keep us locked in our animal nature? Because humans, we're more than just animals. We possess self-awareness, we can question reality, and we can elevate to something beyond our instincts. The mind is connected to beyond physicality, but if we're constantly consuming flesh, we're being kept in this lower instinctual nature. Jesus and Satan do not exist. Jesus and Satan are two characters that represent a psychological process within the human mind. Jesus, the higher mind, the good thoughts, love. Satan, the little voice in your head that tells you to steal, rob, and hate. You must save yourself from the destructive thoughts and the internal hell that you may live in. You created the destruction in your life. Satan never made it. You made it. There's no devil tempting you to do anything. It's your own mind. And you'll forever blame external things until you realize this truth. The Anunnaki never existed. They symbolize incarnation. Now let's break this down. Anu was the divine god of the sky. Ki was the goddess of the earth. The sky god Anu married the goddess of the earth, Ki. Together, they gave birth to the Anunnaki. Anu represents the sky, which is your consciousness, spirit. Ki represents earth, matter, your physical body. Your spirit incarnated into matter. Now you are the Anunnaki. divine spirit manifested in a physical body. Even the Freemasons show you this with the circle and the square, spirit and matter. You're probably thinking, why did the ancients secretly code their scriptures? It's because they wanted you to use the right hemisphere of your brain. People get trapped in reading the Bible and ancient texts with the left hemisphere, logical and historical. All of their texts were made for the right hemisphere, which is all to do with metaphors, decoding, and reading between the lines. This way, they wouldn't just give us these truths. We had to figure them out so that we became more intelligent. If you want to learn more, read the Book of Wisdom, Volume 2.
When the sun enters Aries, this is when nature springs back to life, symbolizing the start of a new life. The Passover is celebrated by the Jews and they eat lamb, because this is when the sun has now passed over the winter and hit Aries, the lamb. Christians celebrate Easter, which is the resurrection of Jesus. Jesus is the sun, hence why he has 12 disciples for the 12 zodiac signs, 4 gospels for spring, summer, fall and winter. Jesus is known as the light of the world, the Son of God. They want us out of rhythm with nature. This is why they changed the new year to be in Capricorn when everything is dead, and then created April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day is the real New Year's. Link is in my bio for the Book of Wisdom.
The Masonic compass is a compass and a square. The square can only be used on a flat line, which is the flat plane. The compass creates archways and circles, which represents the heavens, which then gives you the symbol of the Masonic Royal Arch. This is the true cosmology. The compass is also representing the black sun, and the moon and Polaris. This is sacred geometry. The 4 symbols for the 4 elements. The earth symbol is a triangle and a line. The black sun and the moon, and the line for the flat land. This is the equator. This is the Tropic of Capricorn. This is the Tropic of Cancer. Summer is when the sun rotates inwards to the Tropic of Cancer. Then it will spiral outward to the Tropic of Capricorn to create winter, and then repeat this spiral. The electromagnetic Taurus field of the Earth, the plane of inertia, is the planet Earther, and the sun and the moon is rotating around the magnetic North Pole. The compass and the square also represents the sun, the moon, the black sun, and Polaris. Stop, watch this. Trees have a frequency around 200 Hz. They make you feel grounded, happy, and they also emit energy, which charges your electromagnetic field. This map shows the amount of trees in a lower class area. This is a higher class area map showing way more trees. Trees have the ability to ground you, which reduces inflammation and separates red blood cells from clusters, which makes the blood more fluid, which makes the heart work less, meaning it's keeping you more healthy. This is done intentionally. Let me know what you think about this. Weekend is when you're weakened from the weekdays. A daze is someone who's unable to think or react properly, a state of stunned confusion. Words are spells. This is why we call it spelling. Did you know your subconscious mind takes everything you say as truth? When you use these words, your subconscious mind is picking it up as truth. When you say something is good and say it's sick, you're calling yourself sick. Or bless is be less. Words are encoded and they have secret meanings. Veganism saving me. God is good. Listen is silent and love is evil. You can't do this with the ancient languages. This is why they changed it. Because the Bible tells you death and life are in the power of the tongue. Because when you talk, you create Taurus fields, which is an electromagnetic wave. We actually live in cycles, which is a circle. The sun and the moon is the yin and the yang on the flat earth. The psych L is the L, which is the 12th letter, which is the 12 zodiacs. This is the cycle, the circle that we live in. Whatever you do, stop consuming seed oil. Particles do not exist, only electromagnetic fields. This is why nature is electromagnetism. Atoms are actually electromagnetic toroidal fields. At the center of every torus field, there is a black hole and a white hole. White hole is white light, which is magnetism, which splits into 2 electrical components. The white light gives birth to redshift, which is explosiveness out of counter space, which manifests into the male action taker, the outforce. Once the spiraling field loses its momentum, it seeks back into rest, which is blue shift, which manifests as the female, which is the in-force. This is seeking safety. Physical matter, what we see, is a result of these 2 forces equalized on the plane of inertia, which gives you planet Earth. Yes, it's a flat plane. The magnetic light creates the two electrical effects, red and blue. This is why everything is red and blue. Red and blue pill on the matrix, red and blue tap, red and blue siren. Roses are red, violets are blue. Magnetism radiates outwards. It's pure. It does not have a vibration. But the effect of this radiating force creates an electrical vibration. Now, all vibrations have to come back to a standstill point like a guitar string. This is why our physical bodies die, because it contains of electricity. Electricity is mortal. Magnetism is immortal. By believing in physical particles, they've tricked your mind into a physical universe, when in fact all things seen come from the unseen, as says in the Bible. If you want to learn more, the link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom. There is paperbacks and PDFs. Jesus never existed. The Last Supper is astrology. 12 constellations, 12 disciples. There are 4 groups of 3 for the 3 months in each season, spring, summer, fall, winter, which creates the 4 gospels, the 4 seasons of the sun, because Jesus represents the sun, gives and takes, day and night, summer and winter. Aries is the first constellation, and Aries rules the head region. This is why Aries is standing on the head of the table. Taurus is the neck and throat. Taurus is the bull and they have thick necks. Gemini is the 2 twins, which rules the 2 hands, the 2 arms and the 2 lungs. Cancer is the crab and they have pinchers. This is why Cancer's holding a knife. Leo the dominant lion. This is why he's got his elbow on the table showing dominance. He's pointing out there is no Adam's apple, which means it's a female, which is Virgo the virgin, the constellation Virgo. Jesus the sun, the risen saviour, the light of the world. Libra is when the sun is balanced between summer and winter. This is why he's holding his hands out equally. The Bible is not history. It's riddled with coded astrological and metaphysical meanings. If you want to learn the truth, people, this book will provide you with everything you need to know. The link is in the bio to get your hard copy or the PDF. Smelly breath is not natural. Smell is coming from your gut, from the toxic food that you're putting inside of you. Body odor is also the rotten food inside of you coming out of your skin. Every 90 days, every cell in your body is brand new, made from the food that you have put in your body. This is why you are what you eat. And every 2 years, your whole body is brand new. Putting death in your body will result in aging quicker. Putting life in your body is the opposite. The sugar in fruit is not bad for you. You can eat as much as you want. Your bad breath, your body odor, is the rotting food inside of your stomach. You will never get bad breath or body odor with this. And did you know 80% of your immune system resides in the gut? Your gut is a second brain, and every disease is linked to the microbiome in your gut. Every 3 months, you should be cleansing the gut to get rid of all of the excess food that is left over. You can do this by juicing or consuming a fruit-only diet. This will help push out and eliminate any waste foods and toxic mucus within the gut. They keep you stuck in your left hemisphere of the brain. The right hemisphere is to do with creativity, intuition, and visualization. Instead, they want you to think logically and think in materialistic facts. The eyes are a part of the brain. They produce the visual field. The brain then creates the perception of the visual field. For example, if you're in a woods, the right hemisphere sees a holistic view of reality. It sees the woods as one entity. The left hemisphere analyzes and breaks down the perception created by the right hemisphere, meaning it's breaking down the woods into individual trees and branches. So they want you stuck in your left hemisphere so you do not see the connections between the external world and your body and your consciousness. John 21:6, cast the net onto the right hand side of the boat and you will find fish. This is symbolic for moving your perception into the right hemisphere of the brain to see a unified perception of reality, to see the links between all things. For example, how you have 5 fingers, 5 points on the body for the 5 elements. In school, you are told to think logically. You're told what to do. You cannot create. You cannot use the right hemisphere. Spotify, Apple Music, and all of the music is tuned to 440 Hertz, which shuts down the right hemisphere of the brain. Your mind is not your brain. The brain's the computer. Your mind's the invisible intelligence controlling the brain. The right hemisphere controls the left eye and the left side of the body. The left hemisphere controls the right side of the body and the right eye. If you want to learn more, the link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom. It will show you everything you need to know. Goosebumps are piloerections, which happens when the 2 hemispheres of the brain are syncing together to create grey matter in the brain, which is the Christos, the Kundalini, which goes down the spine. Resurrection. Res is resh, meaning head. Erection is the pylo-erection. If you cannot create a pylo-erection by will, you cannot raise your Kundalini. If you can generate these goosebumps by will, you will feel a tingling sensation in the brain, which will then spread down the body. Use your mind to focus on this energy, this tingling sensation at the base of the spine, and raise it up to the brain again. You'll then feel your brain become hollow and filled with tingling sensations and light. It's one of the most divine experiences you could ever have. Oh, look at my skin. There's no goosebumps, nothing. This is all clear. Now watch this. This is mental control over the electric nervous system in the brain, sending electrical currents through the body. The tingling sensation you feel is the increase in brain activity. If you can't do it by will, you can practice this because it is a muscle. You can use frequencies as well to activate them. And when you feel the tingling sensation coming, you need to hold on to it and raise it from the base of the spine up to the brain.
The ego is your mind's perception of yourself while you have been incarnated into a physical body. Who you think you are is basically a bunch of programs that you have created over the years through emotions and repetition of thoughts. You need to understand that the universe is mental. Everything exists within your mind. The mind's the root cause of all things, hence why the word government, they govern your mind, ment is mind. The programs within your subconscious mind manifest 90% of your behavior, thoughts, and actions on a daily basis. So in order to change your life, you need to access your subconscious mind and rewrite the programs. All of the systems in your body are being ran without your mind being conscious of it. This is because the subconscious mind is controlling all of the heartbeats, the breathing, and the digestive systems. This is how powerful the subconscious mind is. Every thought has an emotion attached to it. The stronger the emotion you feel, the more impression it has onto the subconscious. You reprogram the subconscious through repetition and emotion. If you want to learn more, you can get my book, The Book of Wisdom, or you can get the Manifestation Mastery course in my bio.
Cameras were used in a standard first-grade classroom, and several hyperactive children may be noted, especially the boy in the immediate foreground. 90 days after, the regular cool white fluorescent tubes were replaced with the new type full-spectrum fluorescent tubes with radiation shields. Prior to the time that this new lighting was installed, this particular boy had an extreme learning disability problem, but quickly learned to read within 90 days after the new lights were installed.
They tell you that the planets and the stars are just spinning rocks in space, when in fact they are actually lights within the firmament which affect our consciousness. The experiment you've just seen proves that light affects our actions, thoughts, and emotions. Why do you think you feel so energetic and happy when the sun comes out? The celestial bodies govern the earth and influence consciousness. The Egyptians, Mayans, and ancient Christians all knew the power of astrology. They used astrology to foretell the future and to gain deeper connections with themselves. Why do you think Jesus has 12 disciples, 12 archangels in the book of Enoch, 12 imams of Shia? Because they all represent the 12 zodiac constellations. Even JP Morgan said that millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. When you are born, you are given a celestial blueprint because you were born into a specific alignment in the stars. This blueprint tells you everything about you and your future. If you want to get your most in-depth reading of 350 plus pages, the link is in the bio.
Your head has this spiral, which is the Fibonacci sequence, which comes from the rotating fields of magnetism. Sound creates magnetic fields create electricity. The sound of you talking creates Taurus fields, which permeates the whole of creation. Everything manifests as a Taurus field. Literally everything, including yourself. Your heart is a vortex, and the pulsing sound of it creates this electromagnetic Taurus field around your body. If you looked down on this electromagnetic field, you'd see the flower or the lotus of life, which is the Fibonacci sequence. This field spirals inwards into the head and out on the feet or the torso. If you look down on your head, this is why you see this spiral. It comes from all of the spiraling of your electromagnetic field coming in the head, which is the crown chakra. Look at the symbol for the crown chakra. It's the flower, which has the same pattern as this. Your spirit is a spiral, a spiraling electromagnetic field. The Fibonacci sequence connects the macrocosm to the microcosm because this will go for infinity. This means you are a microcosm of the macrocosm. You are God made flesh. You are the universe. The fluids in your body are in a cycle, a rhythm with the moon, because the moon affects the liquids in your body. This is why women have a menstrual cycle, every month. So the full moon is a high energy. This is when the liquids in your body are being pulled the most by the celestial moon. Sun is masculine, the moon is feminine, emotion and intellect. So the emotion is being affected by the moon, which is our mood. So on a full moon, this is when the lunatics come out. When the moon enters the sign that you were born in, your sun sign, a sacred fluid is released from the brain down to the spine, and we must raise this up the 33 vertebrae of our spine to be crucified in the skull, Golgotha. The planets are not physical rocks, they are energies which influence the earth and our bodies, our consciousness. Astrology is so important, and this is why the ancients mapped the celestial constellations. This book has everything you need to know. The link is in my bio. The Book of Wisdom PDF or paperback. Jesus knew this knowledge, the knowledge of your electromagnetic field. Without it, you are lost. Your internal mental and emotional states manifest your external physical world. Your heart produces this field, and you feel your emotions in the heart. Your thoughts create your emotions create the electromagnetic field from the heart, the energy in motion. And your electromagnetic field creates your physical reality. This means your external world is a reflection and a physical manifestation of your internal mental and emotional state. This is why your life is hell. Because you've been taught that your emotions are something that should be reactive, when in fact you should be choosing the emotions you feel so that you manifest the emotion that you feel in your external world. Because by feeling that emotion, you become that vibration. Your vibe attracts your tribe. You attract whatever vibration that you are. By combining your electric thoughts and magnetic emotions to feel something before you have it, this is how you become that vibration. You create your own reality. The universe is mental. Everything exists within your mind. Stop worshipping Jesus and all of these religions and external gods because they do not exist. Everything exists within you. You are the universe. Literally playing a game. You can manifest anything you want in this world. You need this to learn how to manifest properly. Sexual energy, when saved, can be transmuted from the base of the spine to the pineal gland. They show you this truth in plain sight. Standing on the red carpet, which represents the base of the spine, the root chakra. She activates the kundalini, and this represents the spine. These two kundalini channels are connected to the pineal and pituitary gland in the brain. The kundalini then reaches the tree, which represents the brain, creating illumination. This process activates all the dormant brain cells in your brain and opens new neural pathways. Here's another one in the 2006 Olympic ceremony. Igniting the base of the spine, which is the sexual energy, and raising it up the spine to activate the flame, the brain. And this is the eternal flame, the consciousness in the brain. The Jordan River represents the spine and the brain. Santa going up and down the chimney. This is also mentioned in the Bible in John 3:14. Just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted. This is the snake raising the sun, the fire, from the base of the spine to the brain. And this is the true Antichrist, keeping the knowledge of the Christ, the oil that must be raised to the brain through the Kundalini awakening. Because they don't want us to unfold our God consciousness. We are all God in disguise. You're stuck within the cage, the rib cage. You're in a prison cell because you're made out of cells. You are hexed in physical matter. This is the X, the hex. The hexagram's a cube unfolded is the cross. You need to escape the physical world, the three-dimensional matrix, which is the world of Satan. Because Satan gives you the mark of the beast, the physical body, the 666 carbon suit, and then blinds your mind. Your mind is completely separate from the physical world. Through physical pleasures and lack of understanding of yourself, you think your mind is part of your physical body, when in reality they are two separate things. Your mind is completely separate from your physical body. The physical world is a dimension within your mind. Men means mind, mental. Mind in Latin means mens. In order to escape the three-dimensional physical world, you have to fully detach your mind from your body. Meditation is key in transcending the 3D world and traveling the depths of your mind. Mind and matter is one. They are different dimensions within your mind. When you dream, your mind creates matter. This is why mind and matter are one. The cube is the shape that gives rise to physical matter. The link is in my bio for the Book of Wisdom, paperback and PDF. Freemasons wear the M symbol, which is the same symbol for Gmail. The G is the Masonic G. The M is the mother. This is why they wear it in the genital area. The mother makes you into matter. Once you're made into matter, she delivers the male. Women hold a stargate within them. Everyone in this world has come through the mother into matter. This is why the female is so important. 0 and 1, the binary code of all creation. 0's the woman, the 1's the male. The male is the master over the physical world. This is why he is strong. The female is the master of the spiritual world. This is why she is very intuitive and sensitive to energy. The male is electric. This is a penetrating force. Female is magnetic. She attracts. Electric and magnetic, electromagnetism. If you understand electromagnetism, you understand everything. Everything is electromagnetic. It is the real atom. Praying is spellcasting. When something goes wrong in your life and you start praying, you're using words to alchemically change your external world. This is a spell, but you are doing it wrong. When you talk, you're creating Taurus fields, an electromagnetic field, because magic is magnetism, influencing magnetic fields. And you do this every time you talk. However, when you pray from a place of negativity, from a place of suffering, you are sending negative energy out into the ether, and you will get more negative energy back. Instead, you want to pray from a high vibration and believe you already have something. Every word you say is molding and shaping your mind, and your mind is the root cause of your external world. And when people place their hands together to pray, they're actually balancing the two hemispheres of the brain, because they represent the hemispheres of the brain. If you want to protect your electromagnetic field around your body, this EMF technology necklace will help you. Your phone is a digital footprint of your mind. iPhone, you refer to yourself as I, which is the eye of consciousness, is being manifested digitally into your phone. That's why Siri rearranged is Iris, and this is your iris. Every text you send, every call that you speak, and every search that you do is being stored and being fed into an artificial consciousness called AI. Everyone in the world has manifested their invisible minds into a carbon footprint, which is now created an artificial consciousness which is running off the algorithms that we have created. The more data we feed into these devices, the more advanced this artificial consciousness will come and rule humanity. The more data we feed into these devices, the more advanced this artificial consciousness will come and rule humanity. If something is free, you are the product. They all have two O's because they're watching you, they're collecting your data. Make sure to join my Telegram, link is in my bio. Your phone takes an infrared photo of you every 3 to 5 seconds. Your phone screens, TV screens, and computer screens all give off blue light, which creates permanent retina damage, which cannot be reversed. And this is why I use anti-blue light glasses whenever I use technology, to save my eyes and to save your brain, because whatever you see affects your whole body. The link's in my bio if you want to get these. They come in a nice little case. There is no external world. Your consciousness is experiencing a program being ran by the brain and central nervous system. When you touch something, this is your brain's interpretation of the central nervous system's electrical impulses. The vision that you see is produced in the visual cortex in your brain. It's because the universe is a mental projection. The mind is personified as the Garden of Eden in the Bible. And in the Garden of Eden, there are the two trees. The tree of life, which is the cardiovascular system, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the central nervous system. This gives your body the life. This gives you the knowledge of good and evil. The power symbol is the brain and spine, because the brain is what runs this simulation to your consciousness. It's a central processing computer. This is why the ancients personified God inside of the brain, touching Adam. Adam means the body. God is your consciousness. This is why your head is called a temple. The temple Tem is a place of worship. El is an ancient Canaanite name for God. This is why Jesus says the kingdom of God is within you. This is why the Bible teaches not to love this world, and this world is not the true world, because heaven is the true reality, which is the reality of your mind. That's the true realm. The word Lucifer also means the bright star. He fell from heaven. Now the star is your 5-pointed star, which represents you, your 5 senses. So when you let your 5 senses rule over your mind and your consciousness, this is when you fall from heaven. There is no external world. The Bible is written in metaphors, and everything is internal. Everything exists within your mind. There is no true. Females represent magnetism. This is why they are curvy and attractive. Males represent electricity, which is the action-taking force. This is because everything is created out of electromagnetism. This is the real atom. This field spirals while coming inwards and outwards. The out force is the male, which is the red, and the in force is the female. This creates red shift, the out force, the in force blue shift. This is why everything is red and blue. Roses are red, violets are blue. God, Allah, Elohim are all names for the Supreme Being. They all add up for 26. 26 is 8. 8 is the Taurus field. God is light. God is energy. Everything is God. We are all God. 0 and 1, the binary code of all creation. 0, the cosmic womb. 1 is the action-taking force. Male and female comes from the Taurus field. 0 and 1. The phi symbol is the Taurus field. Physical is the phi cycle, the cycle of the atom, which is a Taurus field. Day and night, we live in cycles. If you open your eyes, you will see magnetism in every aspect of creation. Everything physically is electric. Everything runs off electricity. Without electricity, your body couldn't move and the world wouldn't exist. Your brain is an electrical computer, and it is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Porn drains your sexual energy, which is your orange chakra, and this is why it's orange. Sexual energy takes over the mind and influences your body. This is why it's the most potent emotion the human can feel. It is symbolized as the serpent tempting you to eat the fruit, because it's tempting you to release your sacred fluids. Sexual transmutation is transmuting the sexual energy into other aspects of your life. It can either be Kundalini, critical thinking, or even the gym. The spine has 2 coils wrapped around it, which is the energy channels for your Kundalini to go up to the brain. The resurrection of Christ is nothing but a metaphor for rise erection, rising your erection sexual energy to the pineal gland to activate 100% of our brains, to activate Christ consciousness. This is known as being born again and seeing the kingdom of God in John 3:3 for the 33 vertebrae on your spine. Your sexual fluids have a strong energy behind them, and this energy can create a whole new human being. So imagine how powerful that is if you retained it. We become mentally, physically, and spiritually stronger by holding this fluid. This is why it's free, because it makes you weak. You are the product. Snakes and ladders is truth in plain sight. Your spine is the ladder and the Kundalini is the snake. The snake in the tree of knowledge of good and evil is also the Kundalini in the central nervous system, the spine up to the brain. The serpent is always tempting you to release your sexual energy, because sexual energy is the most powerful and potent emotion the human can feel. So when you overcome it, you are fighting the snake. And when you retain this energy, you can then resurrect, which means rise erection. Raising the erection to the brain to illuminate the pineal gland. Why do you think the word sex has the S in it, which is the serpent, the sexual essence? If you release your fluids all the time, you will become mineral deficient. Your sexual energy is the most powerful and potent energy within your body. It is your soul force. Even if you're not transmuting this energy into Kundalini, you can transmute it into critical thinking or other aspects of your life. Watching them dirty websites and masturbating all the time will destroy your mental health, because in your mind you are literally that person in the corner of a room watching 2 people have pleasure. What you do in your alone time will manifest into light into other aspects of your life. This is why you will not be confident, you will not radiate, because you know what you are doing on a deep level on your own, and you know it's disgusting. Spirituality is a psyop, people. It's all about your mind. It's about transmuting all the negative aspects of your mind into positive. When you change your mind, you change your body, your life, and your spirit. Your body is a prison. The real matrix is your consciousness being stuck in 3rd-dimensional awareness, the physical body. Every religion teaches that this world is the false world, and there is a heaven or another base reality. You're made out of cells, a prison cell, and your rib cage is a cage. This is why the Bible says, do not love this world nor the things it offers you. Your mind operates outside of this physical plane without time, space, and matter and no limitations. Therefore, material addiction and emotions is what ties you to the physical plane. But heaven is not what you think. Sin means sine, which is time, the sine wave of time. And negative emotions such as hate, fear, and jealousy only exist in a world of time. Therefore, love, contentment, and joy can exist without time. Therefore, your emotions is what takes you away from God, which is your higher self, your higher mind, your pure consciousness, which exists outside of this physical body. This is why you call it my body. This is mine. It's a possession. It's not you. You are the I am. There is another plane beyond the physical plane called the astral plane, and this is where the realm of imagination or spirits are, and you can enter this through astral projection. Heaven is the higher astral realms where your mind can operate without limitation. The toroidal field is a multi-dimensional energy pattern. It is a universal blueprint in which all energy and matter manifests. It can be visualized as a donut-shaped configuration where energy is in a continuous loop. The central axis in which the energy goes in and then back out is called the hyperboloid. And this corresponds with our spines. Our spines are also a hyperboloid for this electromagnetic torus field. The flow of energy within our torus field and our body follows the same principles that govern the larger universal patterns. Thoughts and emotions are also forms of energy which manifest through our electromagnetic torus field. A stone thrown into water will create ripples, which will create incandescent circles which travel outward. This is the two-dimensional representation of how we visualize sound waves. In three-dimensional space, sound waves propagate in all directions, which creates a spherical wave front. When these sound waves expand, they create the torus field shape. When we speak, we create vibrational waves which expand in all directions into torus fields, and this is why talking is called torque, torus fields. The words we say have an effect on other people's fields and your fields itself, affecting reality in all directions. Stop listening to music. It's bad because it reprograms your subconscious mind by putting you in a hypnotic state. You want to dance or do something when you listen to music because it puts you in hypnosis. You remember the lyrics so vividly because it rewrites your subconscious mind. Every word they are saying in the song is molding and shaping your mind in some form or way. Why do you think you want to hurt someone when you listen to drill music, or want to dance hard when you listen to techno? When you listen to music, you literally cannot think because it's putting you in hypnosis. Spotify and Apple Music are all tuned to 440 Hz, which shuts down the right hemisphere of your brain because they do not want you thinking creatively or intuitionally. Music creates thought loops within your mind. This is why you feel nostalgia when you listen to an old song you used to listen when you were a child. The repetitive music and beats creates thought loops in your mind. In nature, nothing is repeating. Everything is constantly transforming. It's the same with your mind. Your mind should be constantly transforming to bigger and better things. Listen to music in 432 Hz or 528 Hz and make sure it has no demonic lyrics and no repetitive. Heaven and hell are states of consciousness. 144,000 faithful Christians will go to heaven. This is nothing but a frequency to go from the root chakra to the crown. When you achieve this frequency, you gain the armor of God, which is the strong electromagnetic field to protect you. Raising the frequency of this field is what allows you to pass the veils from the physical into the higher realms of consciousness. Devil is de-veil, because doing evil, doing the devil, lowers your states of consciousness. The resurrection of Christ is nothing but a metaphor for rising the erection, rising your sexual energy up to the head. The devil is red because it represents the lowest frequency, which is the root chakra. Keeping your emotions in balance and your thoughts and actions aligned with the divine mind, the higher self, this is how you reach the highest states. By doing this, you gain the Holy Spirit, your spiraling electromagnetic field. Even the food that we are consuming is keeping our bodies, minds, and spirits stuck in the lower states of consciousness, third dimensional awareness. To reach these higher states, you have to go from acid to alkaline, Saturn to the sun, Satan to Christ. You have to consume the food that contains the high amounts of electricity and energy. This book provides you with all of the syncretisms between science and religion, and everything you need to know in one book. My new favorite thing to do is to show you how powerful you are. We are intelligently designed. The eyes contain 137 million cells within 1 square inch in the retina. To put this into perspective, this is 1 million dots and this is 1 square inch. And this is your retina. Your retina consists of 137 million cells. They say this is because of evolution, which is just another theory created by Charles Darwin, a Freemason. Everything physical you see comes from the invisible. Everything you see in the physical plane was manifested by the mind. The phone that you are holding was an idea in someone's mind before they manifested it physically. So therefore, the whole physical world that you see exists within the mind of God. Essentially, we are all existing in the mind of God, and we are all God fractured into separate bodies. This is why Michelangelo painted God within the brain, because the pineal gland is the connection to the mind, which is the divine or God. And one more thing before you go, if you don't believe in God, then you are delusional, because this painting was painted by a painter. Therefore, this physical world was manifested from the mind of God, and we are a microcosm of that mind, and we can use our minds to create things within God's creation. We are made in His image. We are a fracture. If you believe in evolution and know God, debate me. The number one mistake that you make is that you think they wear jewelry just because they are rich. Firstly, the crowns are made out of gold and other gemstones like crystals, which all contribute to amplifying the frequency of your energetic field. Usually they wear purple to symbolize royalty. They wear this on the head because the head is connected to your crown chakra, your highest state of consciousness, which is purple. A lot of ancient cultures used to be decked out in jewelry. They used to hold canes with metal on the bottom and the top because the earth produces magnetic energy, and by grounding, you are actually amplifying your field. When the body is producing a high frequency because of the amplified field, they would be able to sync up with a higher consciousness. This is why you should fill your spaces with precious metals and crystals, because the atoms that create these metals and gemstones are resonating on a high frequency. I have a few of these orgonite technology necklaces left. If you want one, the link is in the bio. Stop eating when the sun is setting. When you chew, chew until it becomes a liquid. Your digestive system can't digest chunks of food. The sun powers your digestive system and your body. When the sun is not present and you eat something, this is going to cause problems within your digestive system. Stop mixing foods. Mixing animal flesh with potato and bread will cause the food to solidify within your stomach, leading to constipation and the birth of parasites within your body. Acne is undigested food coming through your skin. The digestive system cannot digest all of the toxins, so it has to find a way out, and it comes through the skin. Your cells are electric. Your brain is electric. Your central nervous system is electric. And you are electromagnetic. The body runs off electricity. It is an electrical machine. Therefore, your body and your cells needs to be charged by electric food, which is grown under the electric sun. Sun's rays crystallize within the food that is grown underneath the sun. This is why you can see the glowing aura of an apple compared to a slice of flesh. This is dead. You do not want dead things within your body. It will not charge you. Your teeth are not made to rip open flesh. Veganism rearranged is saving me. And your intestines are not like a lion's or a dog's. All the legends in the past knew this, and this is why they were all vegan. Veganism rearranged is saving me because consuming electrical foods feeds your spirit, which is your spiral, your spiraling electromagnetic field, because you're a biological battery, hence why you get charged in a court. Every cell in your body every 90 days transforms into the foods that you've been eating. Consumption of rotten flesh has no electromagnetism behind it. The fruit is electric and full of light. Lions' intestines are shorter. Our teeth are not made to rip open flesh. Meat-eating animals only live up to 15 years. Vegan animals live up to 40 years. Why do you think the Bible talks about humans living over 500 years? All of the geniuses of the past were all vegan. Humans possess a trichromatic vision, which means we are pretty much attracted to seek colours naturally, because our brains are wired to seek colourful food. Each animal and every being has specific qualities in its DNA. For example, bears are ferocious and strong. Camels have the ability to walk thousands of miles, and cats are majestic and sneaky. When you eat these animals, you are eating the virtues of that animal. You literally are what you eat. Meat is flesh, cheese is rotten milk, and eggs are fetuses. These terms have been created to conceal the true nature of what you are actually consuming. You descended from spirit to matter. Now you need to climb the stairway to heaven, which is your spine, and go from matter to spirit. The chakras are not what you think. They are 7 vortexes which our consciousness feeds energy into our physical body. You have a mental, astral, etheric, and physical body. They exist within the etheric plane, which binds your spirit to your physical form. Hence why in the Bible they are known as the 7 seals. States the Lamb is worthy of opening the 7th seal, because the Lamb is Aries, and Aries rules the head region to open the 7th seal, the 7th chakra. They're called the 7 seals because they seal your invisible consciousness. Heaven is even. This is why Jesus is pointed at the heart chakra, which is the balance point. When your vortexes are balanced, you have a deeper connection with your universal intelligence. Your higher self will have an easier job manifesting itself throughout the body. The world is stuck in the lower 3 energy centers, lust, food, and power. Instead, we want to aim to use the higher parts of the body, expression, intuition, and wisdom. Illnesses exist on a low frequency. When we consume low vibrational foods, we lower our frequency to match the illnesses. If you have something wrong with your body, it's more than likely that you have an acidic-based environment. Bacteria can thrive in an acidic-based environment. We need to raise our frequency and turn to the alkaline environment in order to heal our body. If I have anything wrong with my body, I'll do 2 weeks with 1 fruit to cleanse the digestive system. Then I'll go on a fast, only consuming water and herbal teas. When your digestive system is inactive, the energy used to digest food can be used to heal the body. Mother Nature provides you with everything to survive and thrive, and the king knows this. Veganism rearranged is saving me, because when you consume meat, you are consuming adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is the blood from a petrified, slaughtered being. It contains fear hormones. The chakras are not what you think. They are 7 vortexes which our consciousness feeds into our physical body. You have a mental, astral, etheric, and physical body. They exist within the etheric plane, which binds your spirit to your physical form. Hence why in the Bible they are known as the 7 seals. States the Lamb is worthy of opening the 7th seal, because the Lamb is Aries, and Aries rules the head region to open the 7th seal, the 7th chakra. They're called the 7 seals because they seal your universal intelligence, your invisible consciousness. Stop working on your chakras and work on your mind, because your mind is the reason why your chakras are being abused or unbalanced. Each chakra has a vice which you need to turn to a virtue in order for them to be balanced. Saturn, Satan, the devil. This is why the devil's always red, because it's the root chakra, which is low frequency. This is to do with your survival. You descended from spirit to matter. Now you need to climb the stairway to heaven, which is your spine, and go from matter to spirit. Heaven is even. This is why Jesus is pointed at the heart chakra, which is the balance point. When your vortexes are balanced, you have a deeper connection with your universal intelligence. Your higher self will have an easier job manifesting itself throughout the body. The world is stuck in the lower 3 energy centers, lust, food, and power. Instead, we want to aim to use the higher parts of the body, expression, intuition, and wisdom. Jesus and Satan do not exist. This is a Heaven and hell are not places. They are mind states. Heel is hell, the root chakra. Head is heaven. Earth rearranged is heart. The 3 parts of the brain control the 3 sections of the body. Depending on which brain is dominant, you are either manifesting heaven or hell. If you're thinking with your gut area all the time, you are manifesting hell. The devil has goat features, which is a ground animal. The angel has wings, which is an air animal. The angel is your higher self. The devil is the lower self. Hence why the devil is red, because red is the lowest vibrational color. The devil is the deveiling, because you are mental, astral, etheric, and physical. You are deveiling yourself by sitting in the lower states of consciousness. The body does not live. It is only maintained by the consciousness that is within it. And this consciousness is either operating in hell or heaven, depending on the 3 brains that you use dominantly. You descended from spirit into matter. Now you need to go back up to your true spirit form and move up the stairway to heaven, which is your spine. They've externalized it and turned it into a religion to hide the true power of yourself. The square symbolizes the physical plane, the triangle is the etheric plane, and the circle is the eternal plane. You need to think outside the box. The box is the cross unfolded. the cube, the physical world. The Christians believe 144,000 will go to heaven. This is actually a frequency you need to achieve to go from the root to the crown chakra, because your head is heaven and your heel is hell. The link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom PDF. Pineapple is man-made, acidic. Pears are alkaline. Apples, alkaline. Do not use the shiny ones, they are waxed. Instead, use the non-shiny. Seeded dates are alkaline. Big bananas are man-made, full of starch, acidic. If the oranges have seeds, alkaline. Cherries are alkaline. Strawberries, alkaline. Dragon fruit, acidic, man-made. Pomegranate is harmful, it's acidic, it's man-made. Seedless watermelons, acidic, man-made. Figs, alkaline. Papaya, alkaline. Bell peppers, alkaline. Garlic is toxic, acidic. Lettuce, acidic. Cucumber, alkaline. Tomatoes, alkaline, very high in iron. Gain the ability to shop with precision for products and foods that are beneficial for the human body. This human health guide grants you a key to revitalize your body and bring about the feeling of happiness and well-being. The planets are not spinning balls in space. They are lights within the firmament. 7 planets give you the 7 days of the week. The Sunday for the sun, Saturn day for Saturn, Monday for moon. The physical world is made out of low vibrating light. 7 metals are the 7 planets. When the light of the 7 planets materialize, they give you the 7 metals. This is why they have the same symbol. They are actually 7 cosmic energetic bodies which influence our consciousness directly. All religions can trace back to the worship of the stars and the planets. The Jewish 7-branched candlestick are the 7 planets. The 7 archangels in the book of Enoch are the 7 planets. Revelation 1:12, the 7 stars are the 7 angels of the churches. Elohim is plural, and in the Bible it says, "Then the Elohim said, let us make humans in our image after our likeness." We are made in the image of the stars and the 7 planets. They are not planets, they are 7 cosmic energies that give us the understanding and the ability to function in this reality. Job 38:32, can you lead forth the Mazzaroth in its season? Do you know the audience of the heavens? Mazzaroth means 12 signs, meaning the 12 zodiac signs. The stars are the start of the solar system, not solar system. And we descend from the stars into the 7 planets, which give us the 7 energy centers in the body. You can repost my content and gain 50% commission. Send your email into the Telegram group. The link is in the bio for this PDF. What you will see here is the etheric energy blueprint behind an object. Even though a section have been cut off, the energy body is still present. This is why when people lose their limbs, they can still feel it present, because the etheric body can never be broken. This proves that we are not the body. You are the spirit inside of the body. If you don't believe me, you can literally do this exercise yourself to activate your bodies. This is called astral projection. It's using your mind to project your consciousness into the astral plane, the realm of imagination. This was talked about in the Bible when Jesus walks on water. It's a metaphor for astral projection. The water is the ether, the barrier between the physical and the spiritual planes. Before you do this, you need to make sure you're in a good, high vibrational mindset. Whatever frequency you are vibrating on, you will match within the astral planes. For example, if you are vibrating very low, you will meet beings, entities that are vibrating very low. This is what we call demons. Once you are in the right mindset, you need to lie down flat with no body parts touching. Rest every single muscle and be still as possible. Close your eyes, breathe deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Focus your attention on the center of the brain, the place of the consciousness. You need to do this for at least 10 to 15 minutes until you are just left with an empty mind. Now you want to use your mind to imagine yourself pulling a rope up into the sky. Imagine yourself floating above your body. One thing that you must never do if you do successfully astral project is never look into the mirrors. Jesus' death on a cross is metaphorical for us falling from the higher planes of consciousness into a material plane. We sacrificed all of the higher planes of consciousness only to experience the thin visible spectrum of light. This is the first dimension, the second dimension, and the third, length, height, and width. The cube is what gives birth to the material plane. So we are in the cube. This is up, down, front, back, left and right. This is why the Jews wear the cube and the Mecca cube, and there are cubes all around the world. Cube unfolded is the cross, which is the Jesus cross, the body, because our consciousness died when it came here because we suffered a loss of the higher planes of consciousness. Universe is created out of light. Low vibrating light turns into matter. High vibrating matter turns back into light. We are human. Hu means light. Man is manifested. We are light manifested into matter. The Bible says we're born into sin. Sin is sign, which is time, because we're born into a material plane where time exists. However, the elites worship the material world. They want to rule the material world and keep your mind stuck in third dimensional awareness. This is why they teach you this and evolution. And this is why they give you the false atom. They've trapped your mind in materialism because they've taught you that the universe is only physical.
Stop wearing glasses. The longer you wear glasses and cover up your eyes, the thicker your glass gets, because your eyes become worse. Your brain will adapt to the new thickness of the lens, and the eye will start to work less. Your eyes are muscles. You need to train them to become stronger. You're blocking the sun's rays from getting into the eyes. Whatever is in your visual field goes into the brain, and then the brain will then affect the central nervous system. So whatever you see is having an effect on your whole body. This is why they don't want you looking at the sun anymore, because the sun's rays can actually heal the eyes and heal the body. This is why they promote sunglasses, because sunglasses block the sun from entering into your eyes and awakening your pineal gland and stimulating the body's electrical nervous system. So when you watch the solar eclipse tomorrow, you don't need to wear glasses, just watch it with your eyes.
The solar system is a soul system. We started in the stars, then we incarnated into the heart of the soul system, which rearranged spells Earth. You descended from spirit into matter. The soul luring system lures your soul deeper into matter, which are the lower three chakras. You are the mind and soul, not the physical body. If you die and your mind is still attached to these worldly physical things, you will want to reincarnate here. The body corresponds with the higher and the lower self. You need to get out of power, food, and you know what, into the higher chakras, so that your mind is not attached to the worldly things when you die from here. This is why they get you so addicted to clothes and all of these physical things. The fast food restaurants are red, orange, and yellow because they keep you here. You need to connect with your true divine self, which is inside of the pineal gland. This is the Holy Grail, your neck and head, because the Holy Grail out of the physical world and ascension is connecting with your true consciousness form. You need to be united, not divided. You need to turn the masculine and feminine energies into balance, because heaven has the word even in it. You have to become even because your consciousness has no gender. The devil is the deveil. You deveil yourself by having these mental addictions to the worldly things. The soul luring system is inside of you. You have to deveil yourself out of the 7 seals in the Bible. The 7 seals are the 7 chakras because they seal your true self. The link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom. Turmeric is unhealthy, so is lemon and carrot. These foods were not created by nature. They were created in labs, genetically modified. None of these foods were here on the day of creation, which means they are unnatural to your body. Your body does not know what to do with them. Potato, Matoki and big bananas all contain starch. This will thicken the blood and cause clogs within your digestive system. All the foods that were here in the beginning were all alkaline. Our body needs to be in an alkaline state. When we consume acidic foods, this is when parasites and diseases can thrive. Once you move to the alkaline diet, you will never go back. This human health guide will tell you everything you need to know and everything you need to avoid to maintain optimal health. Freemasons always place the east at the top of their artwork and the north and south on the sides. This is because they understand the true cosmology of this realm, but you don't. North is the center of this realm. This is where all compasses point to because the Earth's electromagnetic field and all this energy centers at this point. It's the strongest point. South is anywhere that goes opposite from the center. So if you walk this way, that is south, and that is south, and that is south. West is when you go left around the magnetic pole. This is anti-clockwise. If you were here and started walking west, you would end up in the exact same spot. East is the clockwise turn around the center axis. So if you were here and walked east, you would end up in the exact same position. With that being said, east is the right turn, left is the west turn. They always show the ladder to the east. Why? Because the ladder is your spine, and the east means the right, which is the right hemisphere of your brain. In short, the right hemisphere produces a holistic view of reality. So this sees humanity as one unified consciousness. The left hemisphere breaks this down into individuals. This sees the trees, this sees the whole woods. So when Jesus says, cast the net onto the right hand side of the boat and you will find fish, This represents cast your awareness into the right hemisphere and you will see the unification of the universe. You will see the higher self. This is the higher self. This is the ego. You will realize everything is connected and everything is all one. Use the code WISE20, all capital letters, for more information. Read this book. Jesus never existed. Jesus symbolizes the sun with his 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs, 4 gospels for the 4 seasons of the sun. That's why he's called the risen savior, the light of the world, the Son of God. 7 days, 7 planets. They worship their God on Sunday because Jesus is the sun.
Easter is actually called the Passover because this is when the sun passes the winter and enters Aries, when the sun springs things back into life, the summer.
This is when they eat lamb, because lamb is Aries, the ram. The sun dies on the Southern Crux constellation, the Cross, every year on the 22nd of December. On the 25th of December, it is born again, every year, because it moves 1 degree northward, bringing back the sun to the northern hemisphere. Jesus, the sun, was born a virgin every year, and this is why we celebrate Christmas. Horus, the Egyptian sun god, 12 disciples, born on the 25th, dead for 3 days and resurrected, did miracles and born a virgin. Same with Mithra. Judas stabs Jesus in the back and betrays him. The constellation Scorpio is a J for Judas, and when the sun hits Scorpio, this means the sun is now entering the winter, meaning it's going to die and become dead. So it's betrayed by the Scorpio, the constellation J. Here's Jesus walking on water. It's the sun. Jesus' life is a process that happens in the body. A sacred fluid is produced in the claustrum in the brain. When the moon enters your zodiac sign, the fluid comes down the spine to your sacrum bone, which is Jesus coming down from heaven to earth. The oil stays in the sacrum bone, which is Jesus dying for 3 days in the cave. If you preserve this oil by having an alkaline diet and saving your you-know-what energy, by activating the kundalini, you raise the oil back to the pineal gland, which electrically charges the phytoluminescent crystals on the pineal gland and turns on 100% of the brain. Unless you are born again, you cannot see the kingdom of God. You are born again by activating 100% of the brain. When you raise the oil up the 33 vertebrae on the back of your spine, which is the 33 years of Christ. Jesus was crucified at Golgotha, which translates to a place in the skull. It's an internal process. This is why every religion has a sacred river, because the river is your spinal cord. It's also the stairway to heaven that Jacob saw in Genesis. Hence why he called the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face in Genesis 32:30. Peniel is the pineal gland in the center of the brain, the seat of the mind. This is why Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness in John 3:14. He isn't playing with the snake in the woods, he's raising the kundalini. This is the snake. Jesus dying at 33 is symbolic from turning matter into spirit, turning to your spirit true form. Link is in my bio for the Book of Wisdom. Head is heaven, heel is hell. If your life is governed by power, food and lust, you're in hell. You have 3 brains, the gut, the heart and the brain. This is the temple of the Holy Spirit. This is the temple of God. God is consciousness. Now, if your consciousness is operating its life out of the gut region, you're in hell. Your life should be operated from the heart and the head. Matthew 6:10. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Your heart and brain are directly connected. Every thought you think in the brain produces an emotion felt in the heart. Whatever happens in heaven happens on earth. Heart rearranged as earth. Masons stand on the divided checkered board. This represents division because you have 2 heels. This is division, hell. You have 1 head. This is evenness, oneness, singularity. Heaven is even. This is why the Baphomet is male and female. Up and down, representing division. Matthew 18:9. It is better for you to enter life with 1 eye than have to have 2 eyes and be thrown into the fire of hell. We need to balance the 2 hemispheres of the brain, balance the 7 energetic vortexes along our spine, and balance our spiritual and physical side of our beings. Nor shall they see here or see there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Do not look outside of you, do not look here or there. The God is within you, people. Luke 17:21. Religion is a scam.